Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we've got a fun little video for you. So today I'm going to be buffing my satin finish Les Paul into a gloss finish. So first off, a lot of you might be saying, it's crazy to mess with the finish of an expensive Gibson Les Paul. Well, you're right, and this is not a Gibson Les Paul. This is actually my guitar that I've had for a long time. I got it for, like as a part of a trade for someone who couldn't pay for some repair work. And this is actually a knockoff. This is a Gibson. And so I've done a lot of modifications to this thing just for fun. I put a bone nut on here. I changed the machine heads. This medallion actually came with it. And I changed the pickups, I put on a trim, I changed the electronics, all sorts of stuff. I just kind of hot rodded it, and I just use it as kind of a platform for modifying. But one thing I did notice on it is it's got a really nice top. There's something to be said for this fake in particular. It's actually a one-piece mahogany body, a one-piece mahogany neck. It's got fret nibs, like the neck is bound, and it's got a really nice thick maple cap on here. And the figuring of the maple is actually really gorgeous, and it moves a lot in the light, but the satin finish kind of does it a disservice because it doesn't really make it pop as much as it should. So that's why I want to do this video. I want to go ahead and buff this satin finish into a gloss finish to really make this top come alive. So I've never done this before. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going off of what strangers have said on the internet. And this is not an expensive guitar to try on. So I've already been using it for so many other modifications. I thought, why not? If we screw it up, it's not a big deal. So let's do it for science. Alright, so I'm going to be glossing up the body and the headstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all the parts of the body, the knobs, the pickups, everything, just so I've got a nice clean surface to work with nothing in the way. And I'm going to do the same for the headstock. I'm going to remove the machine heads and the truss cover, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I've got most of it off. I'm just going to tape off everything so there's no chance of me rubbing anything weird. I just wanted to show one thing that's pretty cool. So this is actually the top. It's huge. It's like a super thick flamed maple top, which is, you know, not something you usually see on these cheap, like, fake guitars. So I just thought that was really interesting. All right, I'm going to continue here. Alright, I've got everything taped off and ready to go. I'm going to use this quickly as a before shot so we can get a good look. So yeah, lots of really nice flame in this top, and it's pretty active. But I have a feeling it's going to look a lot more active once we get it all polished up. Now I'm going to be using two different products here. So again, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is my first time doing this. So if I'm doing something wrong, please don't scream at me. But I'm just going off what some strangers have told me on the internet, and we're just going to try it out. So I'm using this product here, which is a Meguiar Scratch X Fine Scratch and Blemish Remover. I'm going to use this to buff up the top. I've seen a couple other people use this. Trogly uses this for his guitars. I don't think this is a nitro finish, so he uses this specifically on nitro. Again, I'm not really too worried about this if I screw it up, so this is all in the name of science. I'm going to use this with first, and then I'm going to buff this up to see if I can get a really nice shine on it, and then I'm going to finish it off with this Flitz polish, which apparently is highly rated. I've had a bunch of people recommend this. Again, I don't know if this is the right stuff or not. I did buy some Virtuoso polish, which I know would work well, but it's coming in the mail and I'm an impatient man, so let's see how this does. I'm also going to be using this cheap buffer that I bought. It's an electric buffer with a microfiber cloth to speed up the process. Alright, first pass. It seems to be glossing up a bit, but I've got a ways to go for sure. So I'm just gonna sit here and do it. Alright, second pass, and yeah, it's definitely becoming more glossy still. And it doesn't feel as rough as it did before. It's definitely a lot smoother. So there is progress being made. So I'm just gonna keep going. And the more I do this, the more it's looking like a real Gibson like nitro finish. So I wonder if this is actually nitro finish, because it feels very similar and it's starting to get that look the more I polish it. So I'm gonna keep going. Alright, so here we are after about half an hour of using that scratch stuff and buffing. So yeah, it's a definite improvement. It's really starting to gloss up nicely. And that flame is definitely more visible now that it's not a satin finish, more glossy. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Fitz polish. This is supposed to be the final polish kind of stuff. And we'll see if we can get this thing really to pop. I'm just going to use a little bit on the buffer, and it's all the things online said you have to use a very small amount. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the cover for the buffer, and then we'll start buffing with the Fitz polish. Alright, after that polishing, the top really did come alive. I'm just going to throw a little light on here so we can see. So yeah, really like 3D flamey top that really does move quite a bit. So yeah, it looks good. I still want to do a final polish. I'm going to go ahead and do the final polish, and then I'm going to move on to the headstock. Do that quickly because that's not going to take as much time. And then I'm going to put everything back together and we'll see the final reveal here in a minute. Alright, here it is all finished. So yeah, it took about, I would say, to take everything apart, to polish everything with the first coat and then the finish, and then put it all back together. It took about 2 hours, I would say, give or take. And but I mean, I'm really impressed with the results. Like, just have a look at this body. The flame is just super popping now, and it's just nice and glossy. And it looks like a pretty professional result. And here's a look at our headstock. Super shiny. That one was very easy to do. The headstock only took about 20 minutes, I would say, less than that. And yeah, I was very impressed with the results. Again, I'm not really sure what type of finish this is. It kind of seems like it's a nitro type finish, but again, this is a AliExpress guitar, so who knows what they're using to finish. But I would say that the Scratches stuff, the Scratch X stuff is the stuff that Trogly uses, so that's safe for nitro. And I saw that a lot of online forums were saying that the Fitz was safe for guitar finish as well, so you might want to do a little bit more research before you commit, especially on a higher end guitar that you're worried about how it ends up looking. But for this really turned out nicely. And I'm quite happy with it. Again, the process was just strip the guitar. I just used this cleaner to start. This is available. I'll put a link in the description where you can get it. And then I finished with the Fitz polish. And I just used a super cheap like electric buffer that I got online. I'll put a link in the description to one like that I use. So anyway, yeah, super happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and string it up. Alright, so our lesson for today is sometimes irresponsibly jumping in and trying something haphazardly without a lot of research will yield really nice results. Thanks for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'll have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.